Screen is visible. Yeah, so before we get into anything, just a quick round of intros. I'm Mariam, and I work in the product marketing team here at Rio. And I have with me Sandeep. He's the product manager, and he's also the brains behind our company audience feature that we'll be demoing today. And just a quick housekeeping items. We want this session to be like very interactive. So at any point, just feel free to unmute yourself and ask any questions if you have. And you can also type in your questions in the chat box. And once we'll take a look at it and we'll answer that at the end of the session. And apart from this, after the webinar, if there's anything that you want to ask us, if there are any queries, feel free to reach out to us on Slack or email. We're always available. So just a quick rundown of the agenda. It's super simple and short. We'll be demoing the company audience feature. I'll take about like 15-20 minutes to demo the feature. And after that, we'll just open the floor for a live Q&A session. Right. So now I'll just get into the demo. Yeah. So to access the company audience feature, you basically head to the navigation panel here. Under Tools, we'll go to Audiences. Next, we'll click on the Companies tab. And then we'll click on Create Audience. So basically, you can create a company audience based on the technologies that actually matter to you. And you can also layer in the hiring activity signals to basically identify companies that are hiring for specific roles or scaling their teams, right? And of course, there are the usual firmographic filters like your industry, location, employees count, revenue, etc., which you can add to basically create a more precise ICP account list, right? So there are multiple ways which you can actually use to identify companies based on technographics and hiring intent. So I'll just quickly show you how to do that. Once you click on Create Company Audience, this is the page that comes up. So we'll start with adding some technologies. So you can basically add a specific tech category. Like for this example, maybe I'll look at, say, cloud security and maybe cyber security as well. Sorry, this is, yeah. Now I'll also look at cyber security. Apart from this, you can also add in like your individual technologies. Like in this case, we can look at a few examples like AWS CloudTrail. Then there is Azure Sentinel. There is Rapid7. And there is IBM QRadar. Yeah, so this is basically a few examples here. You can feel free to add all the specific technologies that you're actually looking for. Next, you can add a company industry. Then there is the company location, which you can add. Just as an example, I'll use United States and United Kingdom here. Apart from this, there are the other firmographic filters like your company employees. You can specify the minimum count for the company employees. You can also specify the revenue range that you're looking for, right? After that, we'll just click on Preview. Okay, this takes a couple of seconds to load because there's like a lot of data being processed, which is a good problem to have. But yeah, we'll just wait for a few seconds for this to load. So while this is loading, the limited preview basically shows you a few companies. Like if from out of all the companies that we've been able to identify, we give you like a preview of the top 25 companies that we've fetched. And then you can play around with all these filters and like figure out which companies match your ICP, and then you can save your audience, right? So this is basically the limited preview that you see. So you can see EY, you can see DICE, you can see KPMG, and then you can see all the matched tech here, right? Now, if you want to get a little more niche with your list, you can also add in the hiring activity signals. Like you can use the hiring in, which is basically you can specify the time period of the hiring activity that you're looking for. If you want to look at, like, say, the recent activities, hiring activities that have been happening in these companies, you could set this range to maybe like last 90 days or last 180 days. I'll choose last 180 days here, and let's just click on preview again and see. So this basically gives you a further narrowed down list. So out of those 16,000 companies that were showing up for these particular technologies, once I add the hiring in filter, this number will reduce to give me like a more niche list, right? So you can see this number has reduced now. So you can again like get a limited preview of all these companies based on the hiring in period that you've set. Now, there is another thing which you could do is if you're looking for specific roles that a company is hiring for, if hiring activity is an important factor for you, you can add in your seniority and job title. Like in this example, maybe we'll just look at, say, the VP, CXO, director level. And for a job title, based on the technologies that we've taken in the example, maybe I'll just look at information security as a job function. So now, once I've added these filters, we can click on preview again. Again, this would take a couple of seconds to load because there's a lot of data being processed. So here now what you see is like a super laser targeted focus list of companies, right? Based on the technologies, the hiring activity signals, right? So once you play around with these filters, you can add your own technologies that matter to you. You can even, in fact, even if you don't want to add the technologies, if you're just looking for like companies that are hiring for specific roles, like specific engineering roles, you can just remove all these technology filters and simply populate this particular fields, right? Like the hiring for, which is the seniority and the job title again, and then the hiring in period, right? So now the next step is to save this audience once you found your ICP account list. And so for this demo, I have already created the audience because it takes a couple of hours for the audience to get fetched. So I'll just quickly click on preview again. And then I'll click on continue to save. So here you can give your audience a name, like this is, maybe as an example, I'll just write like cloud security underscore demo. And here you can specify the number of companies that you want to save for this audience. So by default, the number that you see here is basically the maximum number of companies that have been fetched based on all these parameters that you've set here, right? So I can probably reduce this to 500 or 1,000 companies based on whatever you want. And for every company that is fetched, 3 credits are consumed, and you'll be able to see the total number of credits that will be consumed for fetching these many number of companies, right? I will not save this audience because I've already created the audience with these exact same filters. So let me quickly show that to you. So this is basically the audience that we created. And once you save your audience, you will be able to see the status of it over here, which is like it will be in progress. Like once you save your audience, you'll be able to see the status as in progress, and once it's completed, the status will change to completed. For any audience where you can see completed and restricted, it means that we were able to fetch all the companies, but because of your low credits, a few companies might not be revealed yet. So you can buy the additional credits, and then you can surface all those companies that have been fetched. Now, coming to the part of taking actions on this company audience list that you just generated. The first thing is, of course, you can view all your companies that you've fetched in this audience. And the next part, which is like the super helpful part here, is once you create a company audience, you can actually find your economic buyers or the decision makers within those companies. So here's a action button here of find buyers. So you just click on it, and basically you're able to create a buyer audience from your company audience, right? So you can see here that this audience is automatically selected. You can just select your buyer persona, and then you can follow the same process for how you create a buyer audience, and you will find all your buyers within this companies. And then, of course, you can download a CSV of this. And yeah, if you can see, this is basically the exact same criterias that I used to kind of create this audience earlier. So yep, this is it. And yeah, now I think we can open the floor for a quick round of Q&A. But before we get into that, is there anything else you would want me to discuss? Is there any particular part of the flow which you feel I should like go back to and elaborate on a little more? Please feel free to let me know.
Just a quick note on the data part. So our feature, which relies heavily on the tech stack as an input, is mainly targeted towards DevTool companies. The entire taxonomy or the list of technologies that we show is geared towards specific technologies which DevTool companies target. That is one. And in general, we use job postings as a data source. So data source to extract out technologies of every company that ensures that the tech stack is the latest updated one in our database. I think there's a question: is there a way to get notified when new job postings for technologies we follow gets posted? Um, there's right now there is not there's no direct way to get this, but this is something that we are working on building, where you will be able to give your ICP technologies as input, and you would be able to know which companies have actually posted those job postings, or you can then filter out. Um, you can put all your ICP filters based on other firmographic details that I want only companies in United States who have posted job posting for DevOps engineer, for example, um, and you get notified about that. Also, you on top of that, you then can also find developers, let's say DevOps developers or DevOps uh, leadership uh, folks within those companies, all within the product. And last step of taking action also, you can do on the product. Taking action as in either you can send your leads to CRM, or add any of your leads to uh, a bolo sequence or an outreach sequence, etc. I hope that answered your question.
And this question again reminds me there's one thing that I would like to just show you again. So once you create, I hope my screen is visible. So once
Yes.
you create that audience and when you view your companies, right, you can get a detailed information of the jobs posting, right, which includes basically like a summary of the entire job posting. Just this is getting loaded. So yeah, it's basically a summary of the job posting, like which link you'll get the link where the job is posted. You can get the exact date when the job is posted, and of course that entire description. And here you can basically see that the technologies that we specified in our parameters is kind of highlighted here, right? So this is the kind of in-depth level information you get. And in fact, even while you're previewing the audience, right? So you would be able to see all of this information in the preview as well for the companies that come up in the preview. So yeah, I just quickly wanted to highlight this. Is there any other thing we could help you with? Any more questions on this?
I think we can wait for
Yeah,
10
there's
minutes.
another question.
Yes.
Um,
I think there's a question. If we search for job postings for X technology for past 180 days, can we sort by date of posting to get the freshest postings first? Got it. Mm, that is currently not possible. Um, just would love to understand the idea behind it. Um, if is it relevant for you that is it important criteria for you that you prioritize freshest postings first? The idea is to essentially sort by the companies that have posted for X technology the most recently. Got it. Makes sense. Makes sense. Right now, this is not available, but yeah, I think this is a very good feedback. Let us take this as a feedback and see if we can work on this. Thanks a lot for this input.
And Sandeep, correct me if I'm wrong here, but a workaround, possible workaround for this could be maybe you use the hiring in filter and maybe filter it by last, say, 30 days or
Right.
7 days if you want like a very targeted list that, okay, I want to just see people who have posted some hiring job postings in the last 7 days or 14 days. Plus, there's a custom range also you can add, right? It could be last 10 days, last 30 days, based on what you want. There's no direct way to filter it and like sort it, but yeah, you can definitely use the hiring in filter.
You're right. Example, if I am searching for Kubernetes as one technology, what I can also do is say if I want to say get very recent, like within the last 15 days, if I want to find companies who have posted jobs having this Kubernetes technologies in the last 15 days, this would this should ideally give me that list. Hmm. Let's see how what we do here. So this job post was posted, I think, just today itself, for example, by JP Morgan. So these are like all very fresh jobs, and this was posted just yesterday for by a company called SignGron. Yeah, I think yeah that is one workaround. Thanks, Mariam. Yeah, that makes
Yeah.
a lot of sense.
But that's a great feedback, Stefan, from you. So we'll definitely take this into our product roadmap for sure.
In this, got it. Yeah, order by date. Yeah, understood. Yes, makes sense.
Any more questions from anyone else? Okay, I think we're through with the webinar. And after this, if you still have any queries, any doubts, please feel free to reach out to us on Slack, over email, anything. Like our customer success team is always available. So yes, let us know. Thank you everyone for joining in. Thank you for your time.
Thank you, everyone.